His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prabhakacharya Tarsi Srimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Srila Gokishodas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Sadhu Sangha ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda Hari Hari Bol. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Madhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitabscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Govika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Brindavanishwari Rishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentaries, Divine Grace, Sri Lesi Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, verse number 15. Please repeat. Is it? Oh, you put here 14 from yesterday. Okay, 15. Please repeat. Evam jñātvā kṛtam karma pūrvair api mumukṣubhiḥ kuru karmaiva tasmāt tvam pūrvaiḥ pūrva-taram kṛtam evam jñātvā kṛtam karma pūrvair api mumukṣubhiḥ kuru karmaiva tasmāt tvam pūrvaiḥ kṛtam evam jñātvā kṛtam karma pūrvair api mumukṣubhiḥ kuru karmaiva tasmāt tvam pūrvaiḥ kṛtam.
evam jñātvā kṛtam karma pūrvair api mumukṣubhiḥ kuru karmaiva tasmāt tvam pūrvaiḥ kṛtam evam jñātvā kṛtam karma pūrvair api mumukṣubhiḥ kuru karmaiva tasmāt tvam pūrvaiḥ evam jñātvā kṛtam karma pūrvair api mumukṣubhiḥ kuru karmaiva tasmāt tvam pūrvaiḥ kṛtam evam jñātvā kṛtam karma pūrvair api mumukṣubhiḥ kuru karmaiva karmaiva tasmāt tvam.
pūrvaiḥ pūrva-taram kṛtam.
Purvaiḥ pūrva-taram kṛtam.
evaṁ jñātvā kṛtam karma
evam jñātvā kṛtam varma
pūrvair
pūrvaiḥ
kuru karmaiva tasmāt tvam
Kuru karmaiva tasmāt tvam.
pūrvaiḥ pūrva-taṁ kṛtam
Purvaiḥ pūrva-taram kṛtam.
So, Matajis, be brave. Cannot see. Okay. So, word for word, please repeat. Evam, thus, jñātvā, knowing well. Kṛtam, was performed. Karma, work. Purvaiḥ, by past authorities. Api, indeed. Mumukṣubhiḥ, who attained liberation. Kuru, just performed. Karma, prescribed duty. Evaṁ, certainly. Tasmāt, therefore. Tvam, you. Purvaiḥ, by the predecessors. Pūrva-taram, in ancient times. Kṛtam, as performed. So, translation, Srila Prabhupada. All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. Please repeat. All the liberated souls, in ancient times, acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. So, Purport, Srila Prabhupada. There are two classes of men. Some of them are full of polluted material things within their hearts, and some of them are materially free. Krishna consciousness is equally beneficial for both these persons. Those who are full of dirty things can take to the line of Krishna consciousness for a gradual cleaning process, following the regulative principles of devotional service. Those who are already cleansed of the impurities may continue to act in the same Krishna consciousness so that others may follow their exemplary activities and thereby be benefited. Foolish persons or neophytes in Krishna consciousness often want to retire from activities without having knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Arjuna's desire to retire from the activities on the battlefield was not approved by the Lord. One need only know how to act. To retire from the activities of Krishna consciousness and to sit aloof making a show of Krishna consciousness is less important than actually engaging in the field of activities for the sake of Krishna. Arjuna is here advised to act in Krishna consciousness, following in the footsteps of the Lord's previous disciples, such as the sun god Vivishwan, as mentioned herein before. The Supreme Lord knows all his past activities, as well as those of persons who acted in Krishna consciousness in the past. Therefore, he recommends the acts of the sun god, who learnt this art from the Lord some millions of years before. All such students of Lord Kṛṣṇa are mentioned here as past liberated persons, engaged in the discharge of duties allotted by Krishna. Makam karoti vācālam pangam like yat kamatam bande Sri Guru dinatarinam. So, evaṁ jñātvā kṛtam karma pūrvair api mumukṣubhiḥ kuru karmaiva tasmāt tvam pūrva-taraṁ kṛtam. All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. So, acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Right? What is that understanding that Krishna is referring to? That is in the previous verse, very famous verse, Namam karmani limpanti. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. Right? So we want to become free of karma. So if we understand the nature of Krishna in this particular aspect of Krishna, then we become free of karma. So what is that? There is no work that affects me. Right? So we already heard earlier, Janma Kama Tame Divyam. His birth and activities, they're divyam. Our birth, and at least my own, and you may be all great Paramahamsas, my birth and activities are not divyam. I'm born in a certain category, a certain activities materially affect me. So, but Krishna is appearing in the material world out of his own sweet will. He's not bound by karma. So that is the first point to understand if you want to become free of karma. And then, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. So we already explained this point many times, right? Vishnu Shakti Paro Veda. That the living entity, when he tries to enjoy in the material world, two things become very prominent. Well, the first thing is nescience. He comes in illusion. He becomes... And the result of this illusory understanding of the world, material world, two things become prominent. One is becomes godless. He doesn't know who the Supreme Lord is, or he doesn't accept there's a Supreme Lord, or if he has a definition of the Supreme Lord, it's more than likely to be very erroneous. Krishna in the Gita here, particularly 4th chapter, is giving us the correct understanding of the Supreme Lord. It's not a tribal conception. No, it is amnaya. It is from the Vedas. It is from Veda Vyas. And somebody who studies Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and hears from the pure devotees, he realizes Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, no work affects Krishna. That means he's not subject to the laws of karma. Action. What are the laws of karma? Karma means, we generally hear, karma means action, reaction. But it's a little, we can say that in a general sense. As you sow, so you will reap. But karma means guna karma vibhagashaha. That we all have a duty or a tendency, it's called swabhav, to act in a particular material way. To adopt. Somebody wants to be a worker. Somebody wants to do business. Somebody wants to be marshal or a governmental administration. Some person wants to be intellectual, so on and so forth. And the mixture of those things. So those things are very common. We want to act. That's our karma. But then vikarma means to, so that's good. That should be done for Vishnu. Our activities should be done for Vishnu. They should not be done for selfish ends. Jñātvā kamano nyatra karma bandhana. So it should all be offered. Our general tendencies to work, this is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Jaiva Dharma is more esoteric, comes later. But we should act in that way, but as an offering, as yajna. So then the other thing, we don't know the Supreme Lord, and we act fruitively. These are the two effects of nescience, the Maya Shakti. We become godless, we don't know God, and we act fruitively. So if you study Gita, the sages, the acharyas, then you start to know the Supreme Lord, and iti matva bhajantiman, then automatically you will become dedicated to Krishna, because that's your nature. This nescience is Maya Shakti is dispelled when we realize the Supreme Lord. Because as we realize the Supreme Lord, we become devoted. And instead of acting for my own profit, I act in the same way according to my swabhav, material propensities, but I act in a dedicated way. So, that is very good. But we should understand that yes, I am becoming free of karma by this dedicated action, but Krishna is always free of karma. He is the Supreme Lord. He is Ishvara Parama. He is above the reactions of the material energy. So we can contemplate that aspect for our realization of Krishna. And then by serving Krishna through the spiritual master, through the acharyas, through the directions of the Shastra, we become free of karma. Because we realize he's free of karma. If I serve him, I'm linked to him. If I'm linked to the electricity station, I get the electricity. If I am linked to Krishna through parampara, vivaswan, so is the example given, then I become free of the material reactions, because I'm linked to somebody without. So, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. That's the other point. That because people are godless, they act for themselves. They take themselves for the center of the universe. I'm in this world, I don't know what to do. I better act for myself. I better survive. I better try to enjoy my senses. I better look for love, companionship, money, profit, whatever. They act for themselves. But they want to get the fruit. So that is karma. I want the fruit. But vikarma means to perform activities against your natural karma. That means I'm a bank manager. But then vikarma means I steal the money in the bank. So I'm acting against my natural activity. I should actually be a good, honest bank manager, but instead I'm fiddling the books, vikarma. Then akarma means not to perform your material activity. That means to be lazy. You're the bank manager, but you don't look after the accounts, you don't serve the customers, you let things slide, you don't put the money in the ATM, you kind of slip a bit in your own and adjust the counting machines. Akarma, you become lazy, you don't do your duty. So that is also bad karma. And then there is ugra karma, when people, ugra means gross, ugra. It even sounds gross, right? Ugly. Maybe it's related. But that means very sinful activity. Becoming a liar, cheater, rumor monger, thief, violent, nasty person. That is ugra karma. Destroying the environment, destroying maliciously other people. It means enviousness. Ugra is very ugly. We all, you know. So then there is nice karma. Nice karma is what we aspire to by serving Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Nice karma means that activity which lends nice, no material result. So that is spiritual activity. So, Krishna, and the characteristic of nice karma is that I'm not doing it selfishly. Through knowledge, iti jñātvā bhajanti mam. That you know Krishna, so you lose the idea I'm acting for myself. You're realizing Krishna and you think, oh, Krishna, you're the Lord of my heart, you're Radharani and the Vrajvasis, I want to serve you. So this is the feeling of somebody who's realizing Krishna and Krishna's pastimes. So he loses this aspiration for the result. I want to profit an advantage from my words, activities and thoughts. So, one who understands this, so Krishna is that way eternally. He's not coming out of the material energy, he's fixed there. He does not become, one who understands this truth about me does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of result. So there's two things for us to contemplate here. Krishna is not affected by work, karma. There's one philosophy, karma mumukṣubhiḥ, that is mistaken. Krishna doesn't become bound by karma or yajna, but rather he gives the results of yajna and people's karma out of mercy. This is why Krishna, this is Upasana Kanda of Vedavyasa. Janmani, he made this mimamsa philosophy, but we won't go into that too much. So, those persons who understand this, they don't become entangled. So we can contemplate that. Krishna is not bound by any work that we perform or he performs. And he's not aspiring from the fruits. He is already purnamidam. He is pure and complete. But he is acting why? Out of mercy. So all liberated souls acted in ancient times with this understanding of my transcendental nature. He's not impersonal. Impersonality means no activity. Oh, I don't do things. I sit under a tree. It's a kind of impersonal state. But if I'm in a personal state, I love my friends, my fellow devotees, my mother, my family, my country, I'm impelled to action. So Krishna is the reservoir of Atmaram. He's fully self-composed, but he expands his pleasure by giving pleasure to all the Jiva Shakti and all the Purusha Shakti and all the Shakti, the Shakti Tattva. So that is his impulse, to give pleasure, happiness, to expand pleasure eternally. So that is his impetus to action. So this is very important, because Krishna is not saying that at this point, but he's saying, I'm not affected, I don't aspire for work. But we know from Lord Chaitanya that this is the motivation, and the acharyas, that this is Krishna's motivation. Therefore you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. Prabhupada points out. So, you're all learned devotees. What is that sloka? Dharmasya tvam nihitam guhayam marjena gatasva pantha. Who are the Mahajans? What does that mean? The actual understanding of religious activity is within the heart of the Mahajan. It's Guyam, it's the secret. It is the core of his heart. What does that mean? Core of his consciousness. He is acting out of ecstatic love. So, who are the Mahajans? And we should, Mahajyena katasva pantha. What does Krishna say here? You should perform your your duty following in their footsteps. Those great souls that have come before. So in Vaishnavism we have 12 Mahajans. So I've been doing a little research this morning. So, here is the famous Mahajan sloka. Huh? Oh, see, look, there's a pandit here. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I don't know where it is. Huh? Just a second. It's 5:30. Where? Oh, I've lost my spot. Just a minute. Yeah, it's in the 6th. It's in the 6th. That's right. Yes, here it is. No, it isn't. It's in the 6th canto. Because Yamaraj speaks it to the Yamadutas. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Swayambhur Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapila Manu. Pralada Janaka Bhishmo Balir Vyasike Vayam. 6:310. I'll keep the bookmark in place. So this is Yamaraj to the Yamadutas, and these are the 12 Mahajans. So, Right? Yes, and the verse before this is Dharmam tu shakshad bhagavat pranihitam. So it's all coming together. So, like I say, I did a little research just to make sure I didn't have to rely on my memory. Yes. So, who are the Mahajans? Yamaraj, Dharmaraj actually. He's Yamaraj for the sinful, he's Dharmaraj for the devotees. Brahma, Narada, Shiva, the four Kumaras, Kapila, son of Devahuti, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad, Janaka Maharaj, Bhishma, Bali, and Sukadev. And they are the storehouses of mercy. So then, there is a famous conversation where the Mahajans got together and they called Vishnu, and Vishnu said, yes, there's a problem. You Mahajans, you want to help the fallen souls. How can we do that? And Vishnu started the conversation saying, yes, I have done so much for the fallen souls. I've expanded, I've given mercy as Ganga Devi, as Jamuna Devi. I've given the Shastra, I've empowered Veda Vyas, I've given Ekadashi Vrat. But the conditioned souls, they're not taking advantage of all these things that I'm giving. I'm giving the Bhagavatam, I'm sending all the sadhus. But, and then there's a discussion here that the conditioned souls try enjoying their senses at every moment. Actually, this is Dharmaraj. Therefore, they commit various sins and offenses. They're bound by anarthas and offenses. What can we do to help them? This is the question. So Vishnu, he's already explained that I have done all these. So then the Mahajans have a contemplation and they think about what should be doing for the well-being of the souls. We must, and Yamaraj, because he was the leader, he was holding court, we must do our best to cleanse the jiva of their sins and anarthas and empower them. Then it is possible for the jiva to change. Right? Very interesting. Clean them and then empower them. They will understand their faults. Then they will desist from causing pain to others. Because this was the earlier thing that Dharmaraj says. The living entities, they're always doing envious things and causing trouble to each other, and it's very terrible. And how can we get them out of this? So how can we cleanse them? So, there again, and then the conversation moved, like I say, to Vishnu. I've made the Ganga and Jamuna. I have made Ekadashi to purify the jivas. Many goddesses have come to the earth plane to give teachings and so on and so forth. But the conditioned souls never listen to Guru. And then there's a conversation where he says, I'm giving gurus and teachers, for the disciples, they don't listen to their guru. Sometimes they complain about their guru. You're too strict, I want to do something else. So this is like, a child. The mother and father bring up the child for, 15, 20 years, and then the child says, oh, well, you're never looking after me nicely. Mother and father, 15, 16 years I've been clothing, sheltering you and feeding you, and now you're complaining. So, that happens with disciples, believe it or not. The Guru gives an ashram, he gives books, he gives instruction, he gives commentary, and the disciples say, oh, I'm bored, I don't know. So, it's kind of funny when you read it. So then Bhishma, he comes up, he's one of the Mahajans, and he says, it's quoted, he's remembering that he was giving instruction to Yudhisthira after the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Draupadi was laughing. Oh, not laughing, but Bhishma giving instruction. So Bhishma said, why you got that funny look on your face? And Draupadi said, well, you're giving instruction to Yudhisthira Maharaj on what is the correct dharma, but where was your dharma in instruction when I was being assaulted in the vicious assembly? It's a fair point. So, I'm giving instruction, Bhishma said, because Krishna has told me to, right? And I'm very sorry. And now, if people follow, this is the point. This is the aspect of Bhishma as Mahajan. If people follow the instructions of Krishna, his order, they will get bhakti, right? And the order manifests through Guru. So if you take the order of Guru, or the order as the order of Krishna, then you get bhakti. By following the order of bona fide Guru, you get bhakti. Because you're serving the Guru. And so you will get seva bhav to the Absolute Lord. But then he answers Draupadi. And this is also a high point that Bhishma is instructing. He said, look, you're right. When I was in the court of Duryodhana, he was giving me a palace and servants and money, but I was polluted by that fellow. Krishna explains there later in the Gita, one who takes food that is not offered first in sacrifice, cooked by a pure devotee, offered by a pure devotee, is only eating sin. So Bhishma explained this. And he also threw in, and this shows, he told this to Yudhisthira before the battle, that man is not a master of wealth, he's the servant of wealth. Because Yudhisthira asked him, look, you're my superior, can I have your permission to fight? This was after the conversation of Krishna and Arjuna. And Bhima said yes. And he said this, that I should be on your side is righteous, you have my blessing. But man is not a master of wealth, he's servant, right? Especially nowadays, in the days of taxation. If you get a little money together, you have to spend all your days and nights to stop the taxman getting it. But this is the point, you're a servant of wealth. It's interesting, wealth is an aspect of Lakshmi Devi. So, but we want to enjoy, like Ravana wanted to enjoy Sita. So we try to enjoy Lakshmi, but we can never touch Lakshmi, like Ravana could never touch Sita. So anyway, Yudhisthira explained all this, and this is my main point, Bhishma said. Be very careful. And what does it say? Lord Chaitanya said, Vaishnav Achar. What is the behavior of a Vaishnav? Asat Sangi Chagi E Vaishnavachar. You have to be very careful. We've said many times, make sure you look at somebody, is this Ram or is it Ravana? Is this Sakuni or Arjuna? Is this Kumbhakarna or Bhima? You have to look. Who is, is this Prahlad Maharaj or is it Hiranyakashipu? You have to look. Is this Pralambasura or is it, a great devotee? So, that's Bhishma's point, that be very careful of your sadhu sangha. So I am giving this instruction and I will show this example. So that is an important point of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhishma's point. You follow the order and you stay away from bad association. So then, Tulsi, yes. Then there's a story about, yes, I'll tell you the story. Once there was a lady, she was a widow, she had one son. The son used to collect flowers to be used in the temple. But one day the snake bit the child and the child died. And the hunter saw this, took the child and the snake. He captured the snake to the mother and he said, look, I'm so sorry, look, your son has died by this snake, what shall we do? and shall I kill the snake? And the mother said, will that bring my son back to life? And the hunter said, no. But then the hunter said, but we should kill the snake because it may kill another person. But then the mother said, will that bring my son back to life? She was only fixed, and the hunter said no. So he said, but then the snake, this is allegorical story, the snake spoke up and said, you cannot blame me. I was impelled by Kala to bite the boy. I never did that before. I never killed anyone before. So then Kala came and said, I didn't. Kala is Krishna, Kalosmiyaham, actually Lord Shiva is the energy. I did not kill the boy. The karma killed the boy. The karma bit him. So we'll see that in the 11th canto. Everyone is being chewed up in this material world by Kala. But Kala is acting according to karma. He's not whimsically doing things. So, okay. Yes. And then, yes, Tulsi is very important. This came up in the conversation. This is Vishnu. He's giving Tulsi, he's giving Yamuna, he's giving Ganga, he's giving Bhagavatam, and he's giving the person Bhagavat to give this instruction. So, then Lord Shiva spoke up. He said, I will help especially those that worship Shalagram and Vrindadevi. That was Lord Shiva. I'm the Mahajan, I'm going to give people purity if they worship Shalagram and Vrindadevi. So Vrindadevi is introduced as coming from Vishnu. Shalagram is worship, can be worshipped very simply actually with just water and Tulsi, like Advaita Acharya. But you can expand. We talked about this. 1, 3, 5, 10, 16, 32, 64 items of worship in Narada Pancharatrika. So the main item of worship is bhakti. If you have devotion, you can offer something nice to Shalagram, even without mantra, if you have love in your heart. So Lord Shiva said, worship together with offering of water. I will especially help those. Right? Then, so that's Lord Shiva. You want Lord Shiva on your side? Worship Shalagram with water and Tulsi. Is it going to be difficult? But you have to be pure, and we've explained all that before, the Pancharatriki. Then Shiva, then Sukadeva spoke up and he said, I will spread and speak Harikatha to those who conduct their worship in this way. So if you do Shalagram and Tulsi worship, then I will speak Harikatha to those that do that. So if you worship Shalagram and Tulsi, Harikatha will come to you. It will naturally come to you. This is the blessing of Sukadeva Goswami. I will take Shiva Thakur, then he said, I will take the poison from their hearts, making them free from all the nathas. Right? So Harikatha and Shalagram and Tulsi. Then Swayambhuva Manu spoke up, I will make their bodies pure. I will give them more chances to become detached from their bodies. How? By giving them the proper way to live. Swayambhuva Manu Sumita. How you should regulate your material life, marriage, birth, this and that. All these little adjustments will give you purity. So Swayambhuva said, if you follow my Manu Samhita, then you will become detached from your body. Purity, then detachment from the body. And then Brahma said, I will help rid the conditioned souls of attachment to the body. You regulate their body, Swayambhuva, and then I will give them detachment from the body, rid them of attachment. Then Narada Rishi said, I will teach Harinam. I will spread Harinam throughout the universe. Narada Muni Bhajavina Radhika Ramana Namine. Right? So that's the special gift, empowerment of Narada Muni. Yes. And then the 4 Kumaras spoke. We will turn everyone into yogis. They will know, because by the chanting what happens, it's all sequential. They will no longer be controlled by their senses. They're detached from the body, they're doing Harinam, and they will be constantly absorbed in thoughts about Parabrahma. Their minds will become detached in Harinam and they'll become attached to Krishna, Parabrahma. We will make them into brahmacharis and their senses will not disturb them anymore. So that is a special gift of the 4 Kumaras. And then Kapila said, right now everyone's pure and they're detached from their bodies, they're doing Harinam. So Kapila said, okay, I will give them Sankhya Yoga. Remember in the 2nd chapter, Krishna says, I give Sankhya Yoga. Analytical understanding of the soul and the material energy. A very good, strong basis for understanding reality. Kicking out nescience, avidya, with vidya. So I will give them pure knowledge. And then Manu said, oh, Manu, wait a minute. Anyway, he spoke up, yes, I will give them the Manusupita and I will teach them with knowledge is good, but I will teach them practically how to maintain their bodies in a non-sinful way. And I will maintain their souls as well as their body. So the Manusumita is meant to maintain the soul in purity as well as the thing. And then Prahlad comes along, and so now you've got knowledge and you're maintaining yourself properly. Prahlad, he says, I will teach everyone to become tolerant and patient. So that means sadhacha, becoming a sadhu. It's okay to have knowledge and behave nicely, but you should have a good character. Prabhupada was once asked, Prabhupada, how do we know who is your disciple? That was asked. Prabhupada said, he will be a perfect gentleman. He didn't say be learned, he'd be real, this or that. He'll be a perfect gentleman. So that's the manifestation of sadhu. Perfect, tolerant and patient. And engage them in bhakti from their childhood. This is Prahlad Maharaj. And then Janaka Maharaj, he spoke up, who is a Rajasi, the best of saintly kings, and although he is a family, he is above everything, he's above Maya. He said, I will teach them Jaiva Dharma, the religion of the soul. So that means Jaiva Dharma. I will give them the connection to their Swarup. Jaiva Dharma is particularly meant to manifest your inner nature in Madhurya Ras, in Vatsalya Bhav, in Sakya Bhav, in Dasya Bhav, your spiritual form. That's also 2nd canto, Muktir hitavan yatarupam swarupena babashtati. Mukti means freedom from the material energy, means to be situated in your swarup. The body might be there, but your concentration is within the swarup. That is the activity of Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, which leads to Bhava Bhakti, which leads to pray. So Jaiva Dharma, Bhakti Vinod has written a wonderful book explaining Jaiva Dharma in 40 chapters. We're just reprinting it actually. I'm doing the layout. So that is the ultimate philosophy. of the soul. Because the soul ultimately, when is situated in Swarup, is above philosophy. He's in ecstasy. Everything acts. That's the meaning of dharmasya tvam nihitam guhayam. He's acting in prem. Nityasiddha Krishna prem sadhakabanai. So that is beyond philosophy. So Janaka said that. And then Bali said, okay. What's his? Said Atmanive, to give, I'll teach them self-surrender. And who are the exemplifiers of that? The gopis, the Brijbasis, Mother Yashoda, the cowherd boys. They're completely surrendered to the service of Krishna. So you can see how it's all sequential, the 12 Mahajans. And then, because we know the story of Bali Maharaj and Vamana, so on. Even though his guru said, don't surrender to Krishna or Vamana, it's Vishnu. He'll take everything. Bali said, really? Okay, I'll surrender. So Bali is teaching self-surrender. So then Yamaraj said, yes, I will liberate everyone who takes shelter of the Mahajans. And then all the Mahajans, under the tutelage of Yamaraj, said, we will help anyone who worships Brindadevi, especially during the month of Vishaka. All the Mahajans, thereby by worshipping and watering Tulsi and Brindadevi, all the Dwadasya, the 12 Mahajans, will help you. So, in the month of Vaishak, which is that? April, yeah, it's springtime, isn't it? So if you worship Tulsi and Brindadevi, Brindadevi is Tulsi, and Shalagram in Vaishak, all the Mahajans will give all their benedictions, tolerance, understanding, Jaiva Dharma, self-surrender, everything. So, get ready. Yes. So they're the 12 Mahajans. And that's what it means to 12, follow in their footsteps. But then also we have, so Jaiva Dharma has 9 processes. Who is the exemplar of the Mahajan of Shravanam? Parikshit Maharaj, because he was hearing for 7 days and he attained perfection. Kirtan. Kirtan means to describe. Who's the Mahajan? Sukadev Goswami. Parikshit Sukadev. Who, remembering, who is the Mahajan? Prahlad Maharaj. Because he was being tolerant and patient, even though he was tortured, apparently, by Hiranyakashipu, who was not a very good person at that time. So, and then Lakshmi, sorry, I gave it away. Padasevanam, that's Lakshmi Devi. But we should understand, I was reading about this, that Padasevanam doesn't just mean massaging Vishnu's feet. Lakshmi has that privilege. But it also means going to the temple, taking darshan, going on pilgrimage, helping people in a practical way, helping devotees. That is Padasevanam. It means a general, you can think of it as a kind of practical application of giving mercy, and going to temples and being kind, giving in charity. So then, Archanam. So those 4 actually, that is the Ragmarg, basic elements of Ragmarg. And then the next 5 are Vidimarg, Pancharatriki. So who is Archanam? This is the Pandit here. Yes, Prithu Maharaj, he used all his wealth and position as a great king to serve the deity form and give instruction. And what did Prithu Maharaj teach about man and woman? He said a man should protect, maintain and guide the wife. 3 things. And the wife should trust in the husband, be chaste to the husband, and defer and serve the husband. That is in the Bhagavatam, those 3 things. Protect, maintain, guide, trust, chastity, and service for the wife. That is Manu Samhita also. So, Vandanam, who is the Mahajan for Vandanam? Akrura, yes. What happened there?
He prayed to the Venice of the footprints.
Yes, that's right. Kamsa send him, go and bring that Krishna for the wrestling match, then we'll show him who's the boss. And then Akrura came to Vrindavan, oh, this is a great chance. And then saw the lotus feet at Akrura got and offered prayers and to the impressions. And then Dasya Bhav.
Hanuman.
Let everyone have a chance. So the Hanuman is the great servant of Ram, right? He's one of the Rudras he expanded from. Okay.
Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva, yeah, there's Rudras, that's also. So he's the great servant. Everyone loves Hanuman, right? Because he's so he could have destroyed Lanka, but he said, no, I'll leave it to Ram. So he can be the hero and capture Sita backward. So, Hanuman. Everyone loves Hanuman. What's the famous story about Hanuman, though? They were throwing the big rocks in the sea, and there was a Gileri, right? And the Gileri was throwing some sand in, and Hanuman said, hey, excuse me. Ram said, wait a minute. Hanuman, you're acting according to your capability. This Gileri is acting according to his capability. He is as dear to me as you. So, of course, Hanuman is faultless, but this is to teach us. Just because somebody is doing some small service, it doesn't mean to say that you're any greater than that person. If pride comes before a fall, yes. So Hanuman, he's a great servant. So, who is the friend of Krishna? Arjuna, yes. So after Dasya comes Sakya. When you have a good servant, you naturally become friendly. So Arjuna is in the Goradhanashdipeka that he has a gopi form, you may know. He has Gopi Arjuna. He has different forms in Krishna. And then Atmanivedanam, we got Bali Maharaj. He just surrendered everything. Huh? Thank God I can get rid of it. Give it to Krishna. So, when we surrender to Krishna, we feel great relief. So, these are the 9 Mahajans. Some of them correspond with the 12 Mahajans. And we should follow in their footsteps. That's the meaning of Vedas, Acharya. What is it? Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, Vakya. Tinete Korya Akya. Yes. And it's interesting, those are the 3 authorities, right? Vedas is the highest, actually. But in that quote, who's come first? Sadhu Shastra. Because we understand the Shastra through the Sadhu. And then Guru. But we shouldn't take too much of that. We don't want to make Sadhu above the Shastra. Shastra is the non-different from Supreme Lord, the Vedas. So these are the Mahajans. So we can understand that and take instruction. And you can see the emphasis on worship of Tulsi, and because Kalo Sudra Sambhamam, people are not, they're not Garbhadansar, they're not samskars in Kali Yuga. So Narada Muni has taught Kirtan and the 5 steps of Panchanga Bhakti. I'll say them again just for the end. What are those 5 steps? Abhimanya. We get up in the morning before before Brahma Muhurta actually, so that we can chant. And that is with the rules of purity. Take bath, you put tilak, then take archment, then put tilak, offer obeisances to Guru, chant mantra. And then upachaya, like I said, gather the articles of worship for Tulsi, for Shalagram. And then what's next? Yoga, Bhuta Shuddhi. You chant mantras like Rishikesha, Rishikena, Sevana. That put you in yoga, you connect in a ritualistic way, sadhana way. So now I'm ready. And then number 4 is the actual puja. And then number 5, Panchanga, taught by Narada Muni, special for Kali Yuga. That is called Swadhyaya, Jnān. Jnān means contemplation. Jnān, Dharana, Samadhi. So Jnān means you contemplate. Swadhyaya means that if you're following Vaidhi nicely and you're doing puja nicely, like I say, you will realize Krishna, then you'll realize Krishna's pastimes, and you become attracted to those pastimes in a particular mood. So Swadhyaya in Pancharatriki Vidhi means swa, your own contemplation. I feel attraction in this mood, but I don't impose myself on the pastimes, I worship them in separation, right? And so and then Swadhyaya runs to Dharana. Dharana means contemplation. Dharana means unbroken concentration or contemplation. And then Samadhi means that is the state of perfection where the sadhaka enters into unbroken nirantaram contemplation of himself in relationship to Krishna. So that is performed through Vipralamba Seva Bhav, Nayanam Gladasu Dharaya. So this is the process of bhakti in short form. It is under the Mahajans. They are giving blessing in every way. So we can contemplate these things. And what does it all start with? Understanding that Krishna is not bound by work, or he's not aspiring for the aspiration, the result of work, which is the condition of the conditioned soul. He's bound by work and he wants the fruit. But Krishna is not acting in that way. He's completely transcendental. And how is he acting then, which we said earlier? Yeah, but that's the sloka. But what is Krishna's impetus to action?
To be an example for the people.
Yes, out of mercy. Krishna's impetus to action is his generosity, his mercy. Eko yoda dadati kaman. He likes to fulfill the desire of his devotees and every living entity. So if we understand that, that's the starting point. And then we can follow and get the blessings of the Mahajans. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any question? If Sachin Nandan doesn't mind. Yeah, go on.
What's that was in back, in rasa?
That's Swadhyaya. What you mean I've just said?
If someone, thinks that they are prone to vatsalyaras, then they should follow the devotees in vatsalya.
Yeah, that's Raganuga sadhana. You follow the Ragatmika, the leaders of that particular ras. But that should be spontaneous from the heart. It shouldn't be, oh, I got silly pranali and now I'm meditating, I'm in the Leela. That's the Sahajiya mistake. It should be coming from the heart. So those little bit higher realms of bhakti, they should be done under consultation of a qualified Vaishnava. not a Jati Gosai, or something like this, or a businessman, or somebody who understands. That was the big fight between Bhaktisiddhanta and the Casco Swamis in Navadvip, because they were making business. I'm giving you Swarup, I'm giving you Siddha Pranali, I'm giving you Swarup, and you're giving me a donation and labor. So no, Bhaktisiddhanta said no. Om Purnam Madappanam Idam Purnat Purnat Udashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva. The Swarup is not attained by meditation. It is intrinsic to the soul. It is Jaiva Dharma. It is the constitutional nature of the soul. In this material world, we take on a material body. It's external to the soul. But the spiritual Swarup, Swarup, is the constitutional nature. It is the essential nature. That is Jaiva Dharma. This is very important. You already have Swarup. Just like every seed has a constitutional nature, right? This is the Tulsi, this is an Ashwatthama, this is a people. You don't have to teach it how to be a Tulsi or Ashwatthama. It is natural. So we all have an inbuilt constitutional relationship with Krishna. And if we learn Seva Bhav, that grows just like a seed blossoms in the right conditions. So there's no profit in that. Because that is, you've already got it. You've got the holy name. You've got your Swarup. You have Vrindavan Dham. You have the great books of the great acharyas. You have the blessings of the Mahajan. So we have to be careful of apasiddhanta. So,
because Swarup.
Swarup means by definition. Also at the end of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Satchitananda Rupasya. The Gopakumar was traveling, but he was not satisfied. But when he arrived in Golok, now I'm in my situation.
So my question was, the Swarup, is it what we were practicing in the spiritual world before we came down to
You're asking a difficult question.
Yeah.
People ask...
Because there's a lot of
yeah, but I don't want to get into that, because I'll say one thing. In the Vedanta Sutra, there's one sloka, it says, Tarkena apratishtat. Tarka means argumentation. If you want to know that, just read chapter 15, Jaiva Dharma. That will give you all quotations from the Brihat Aranya Upanishad. Everything is there. But we should also understand that Goloka is not a place of fall down. That is there in the 8th chapter, throughout the Vedic literature. No one falls from the association from the association, supervision of Yogamaya. This is a foolish idea. I won't say any more than this. But just read chapter 15 of Jaiva Dharma. That explains the Tatastha Shakti. Also you can read verse number 11 of the Brahma Samhita. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah.
Shastra Shu. Brahma Samhita said, Mahavishnu is the source of numberless avatars into the material world. He's also the source of the Tatastha Shakti Jiva. And where is Mahavishnu situated? In the Pradhan, which is the borderline Viraja river between matter and spirit. So anyway, well, I don't know, but because people get all upset. Oh, I don't know about that. I was with Krishna making a garland and then I became envious. You crazy? No, we're Tatastha Shakti. Tata, sta. Situated on the tata, the line. Just like between these two pages there's a line.
That's it.
And that's the tata. On one side spirit, on side matter.
Bank of the river.
Yeah. So that is Shastra. I know some people have other ideas. Good luck to them. But the spiritual world is a place of perfection. People are not, oh, Balaram's running faster than me, so I'm envious. Oh, I'm in the material world. No. That means you are not very... I shouldn't talk anymore because this is going around the world. But read chapter 15 of Jnātvā Dharma. And if you have confusion on this point, I know you don't, you're just being provocative. If you have confusion on this point, go to your spiritual master and take instruction there. And read chapter 15 5 times. But understand that. But the point is, everyone has Swarup. And if that Swarup is developed, then the Maya Shakti has no ingress. It's impossible. Once you have ecstatic prem situated in your Swarup, nothing can... That's what Krishna says, 8th chapter, verse 20-21. One who attains my abode never takes birth in this world. Yeah, so... But some people got some ideas.
Back home, back to Godhead.
Yeah, back home, back to Godhead. It doesn't say back home, back to Goloka.
No.
Right? Prabhupada didn't say go back to Goloka, where you've come from. He said back to Godhead, where you've turned your back on Godhead, Vishnu. Goloka and Godhead are different. Yes, they're two different words with different meanings. Anyway, what is it? Yayanti Hesu Medasa. So just chant and then maybe... But if you, tarkena, if you enter into too much argumentation, then you cannot get the absolute truth in that way. Dharmasya, tvam. And what is that secret? That secret is Krishna Prem, right? And what is that sloka? Yasha Deva Parabhakti, Yasha Deva Tata Guru, Taishyate Kaita Hyata Prakashante Mahatmana. If you have Krishna Prem and you have implicit faith in Guru and Sadhu and Shastra, then you understand everything automatically. The state of enlightenment is natural. If you're in confusion, that means you are not in a state of understanding. And your understanding that you have, you should stand back from it and think, maybe, because I'm feeling confused, I don't know the answer. You understand? So if you're confused, that means you're not enlightened. So then people argue, well, I think this, I think that. If somebody says, I think, I believe, that means I don't know. I speculate. Huh? So then we should worship the Mahajans, and Janaka will give us, Janaka Maharaj will give us Jnātvā Dharma. He'll give us the right understanding. Swayam eva spuryat-tada. Like Krishna's not bound by work, but he's not bound by our work. He's not bound by our sadhana. He's just giving mercy out of his nature. So we go to Krishna and what do we say? Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram. Look, son of Nanda Maharaj, you're the Supreme Lord. You please pick me up out of your mercy. Right? Yeah. We can't charge into Goloka because we're doing great sadhana and meditation. And I've got this silly pranali diksha. No. We go there by mercy. And that's why it's called Maya Shakti, mercy. Everything is Krishna's mercy. We exist by Krishna's mercy. That's why we're here, conscious beings, because Krishna is merciful by nature. So that's why he says, Mam namaskaru. He said, I'm telling you a secret, Arjuna. You surrender unto me and offer obeisances to me, and if you offer obeisances, I'll feel merciful, you see. He's not saying that because he wants us to worship him like a conquered slave. No, he's saying, look, this is the secret for getting my mercy. Approach me. Mam namaskaru. That is the secret of bhakti. Just offer like Advaita Charya, tulsi and water to Shalagram. And then Lord Chaitanya said, I'll come. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, Namo Mahabhadanyaya, right? Right. Out of his mercy he's giving Krishna prema. So, Bhagavad Gita Sadhu Sangha Ki Jai. Thank you all very much.
Hari